because it is just a randomized thing. It's not. There's like it's on the clock or something.
I was just gonna
So it's
roll with
programmed
my
to fuck
real
you
world
over.
dice.
Yes, it definitely is programmed to fuck me over. I'm convinced every Saturday morning.
I have.
Can I use that as my excuse too?
Yes.
I have started
That's
the
why
stream,
Becca-
by the way.
Oh, cool. We're streaming.
Yeah.
I'm convinced that's why Becca uses her own dice because she knows. But I'm pretty sure Scott bought her shitty dice for her birthday or something.
Oh, the dice are constantly trying to kill me.
I don't buy Becca dice.
I feel like this is a
don't know
bad
why, like-
omen.
In general, like it's like we go into a game store and I can't leave without getting a miniature, and Becca can't leave without getting dice.
Yeah, we have rules when we go into game shops too for that same reason. For me, it's usually a book, and I don't know. You're basically anything. You're just like you can't leave without something.
I find it rude to
It's
leave.
usually
Like
like
when you
card
go
games
into a
and
shop,
stuff.
it's rude to not buy something.
Yeah, no, it's a manners thing, right?
I
It's
like this
being
guy
polite.
already.
Especially because you always have the guy behind the counter. Like you can tell that they're unbelievably bored.
Generally, yeah. In Hawaii, I worked at the comic and game shop there, and yeah, you just sit there bored until someone comes in to talk, and then you're like, yes, company.
Like any question, and they will give you a huge dissertation because it's the only thing
Oh,
they've
yeah.
talked about like that day.
Thank God, human interaction.
Yeah. That's not a 12-year-old kid asking about Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yu-Gi-Oh will never die. I'm convinced. I'm rolling now, and it's not going well.
Okay.
Don't be worried. My character has he has 2 good stats, and the rest are just absolute crap.
I've gotten a couple 11s already, so yeah, this
I
will be
have
good.
a 7.
I feel like this is a bad omen because I tried rolling all dice, like just checking out roll 20, and it's all like all d20s, and it's like 1 1.
Yeah. No, roll
3.
I'm convinced something is wrong with the roll 20 RNG because it'll be like 1 1 1 1 1 20. Like, it's not. And
Okay.
never on a check that actually matters. It's like roll.
Yeah.
You're gonna miss, but roll for initiative.
Or roll for like knowledge history. And
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, I got a 27 with
Like, but
bonuses.
DC was like 10. Okay.
Travis is trying to figure out his Discord login now. Apparently, his wife logged him out.
Alright, why is there a playing card deck on the screen? What have I done?
Oh, that's one of the.
I thought that was
you have
kind
to
of cool.
disable that.
Oh god, how do I disable that?
No. Becca will have to disable it when
Where
she
do I
does
go
that.
to disable it?
What did you do?
I can
You played
disable
for
it,
5
but
seconds
I will
and you broke it.
What was
Give me a second. I'm gonna log out of roll 20.
I was looking at all the buttons and it was under macros, and now I don't know how to get rid of it. I apologize. I just entered and I already am messing things up.
Brilliant first impression.
It's all good.
Okay, hold on.
Apparently, I can steal your cards.
I'm clicking no way.
Denied. Yep.
Denied.
Alright,
I
so
don't
we
know how
got
you did
show
that.
deck to players. Players can draw cards.
You can disable show deck.
Yeah. Alright.
Trying to figure out how to get rid of these cards.
Okay, where do I just get rid of this?
I don't know. We'll figure it out in a little bit. It's fine. Now you're just adding cards to
Who,
the
me?
table.
I'm not doing anything.
The cards kept on piling up on it. I just
Steph's trying to fix it and is instead, I think, making it worse.
Shit.
what's with the Queen of Hearts?
Where do I just... discard this? Well, this is a new thing.
It exists, by the way, for RPGs like Through the Breach or Dead Man's Hand, which both use a deck of playing cards instead of dice for their mechanic.
Okay.
Because both of them are country westerns, so they decided it was more evocative to be playing poker while during an RPG than it is.
Kind of love that though.
Yeah.
All right. Seriously though, how do I delete it?
I don't know.
All right, I will have to play around with that later.
Yeah, we'll we'll play around with it when I'll mess around with it tomorrow. I know there's a way to disable certain functions.
Okay. Yeah, hopefully that's not in anyone's way. I guess we're just waiting for Travis, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he said he was trying to figure out his Discord login because his wife logged him out, apparently. Slacker.
Well, like I have had to go through the re-login process because I forgot my Discord account information. It
Yeah.
kind of sucks.
It does. I've been through it as well.
It's not fun. I guess do we want to go ahead and talk about our characters?
Yep, let's go ahead and start. I think Scott has a pretty good idea of what character he's playing.
Me too!
Okay.
Oh, most
So-
likely.
I am, and I have a voice for this, but I need to drink a lot of water before I can start it.
Oh, we're doing voices. Lovely.
Well, I will because, but I will be playing Naraka.
I got him.
Saying, that's
Can
why I
have-
need a lot of water whenever I'm playing this character.
Don't want to trash your throat.
So
Yeah.
much fun with that.
Yeah, he is a Knoll divine soul sorcerer of Yanogu and a mercenary. So, he is. But that's basic background. As we talk about our characters more, I'll interject with things that might be relevant. Chester, what are you playing?
I don't have a name yet, but I'm going to play a satyr bard.
Mhm.
And he's going to have a lot of fun making fun of everyone and anything. I'm on the fence between the colleges of lore or glamour. I'm really not sure which way I want to go with that. I think that's going to largely depend upon the party makeup, because lore would be the ultimate skill monkey and be able to fill in everything there. But if we already have everything covered and we need a face, then the
Right.
glamour seems like soup face on steroids.
So I will say Narga has a high charisma, but I am intentionally not because he has intelligence of 7 and a Knoll.
So intimidation, yes.
Yeah, he has good intimidation. I dropped all the rest of the social skills. So he's not the best healer. Like a cleric or a druid is a better healer, but he is a decent healer because he is a divine soul. So
Cool, so I don't have to take healing spells. Yay!
just mechanically speaking. But his damage output is also crazy high. Unfortunately, he is the squishiest character I've ever played. His AC is a grand total of 13.
I'll be sure to toss you some inspiration,
Yeah.
along with the insults.
Mm-hmm. Shayna, you know what you're playing?
I actually was figuring I would play filler because there are a few things that I would be fine either doing again because they died early. And I kind of want to revive them. Like my monk, it's Chester's fault. I would love, except this time, if we needed, I could be, Path of Tranquility or whatever. But outside of that, cleric maybe or a caster of some sort, because I'm always a
In my
rogue.
defense, you enjoyed how that monk went out. Okay.
That was amazing. Yes, I loved being taken over
She
and
pissed off
becoming
a
the bad guy.
brain devourer
I
got
loved
her in
it.
her sleep. So she was a brain devourer for like 4 sessions before she decided to kill somebody else.
Everyone hated me because they didn't understand why I wasn't helping anymore. Like, why is she
Brain
just standing
devourers
there?
are the best enemy ever.
It was so fun.
Are
He
the
just-
great reason to not drop intelligence. Oh,
Hi, Travis. Travis,
Hello.
this is everyone.
Hi.
Nice to
Stefan,
meet you.
Scott, Becca.
Nice to meet
I
you.
love how you're pointing and it doesn't. Like,
As
up
if
with
that's
my screen.
helpful in any way.
It lined up
all
with
of
my
us have
screen.
the same layout too. It's like
It's the Brady Bunch.
So, Travis, the
Oh
only
my
thing you really
God.
missed thus far is Scott has decided to play a Knoll Sorcerer of the Divine Soul Path. And Chester's playing a Satyr Bard.
Satyr.
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 Bard.
Satire is completely different.
I love the
It's one for
satire.
sarcasm and insults.
He's a satiristic satyr.
Yep.
See you later, Satyr.
Right?
oh,
That's
my
your
mom-
catchphrase.
oh god,
It's mandatory
reasons
now.
for Chester to throw out puns.
Like he needs it.
Yeah.
All I have to do
Exactly
is
what.
troll Travis's Facebook page for those. They're there for days.
That's all I do. I had to bring up Discord on my phone, so the sound quality might go in and out for me until I figure out my password.
It's all good. We're used to.
Yeah.
What's Stefan gonna play?
Well, I'm pretty new. The only class I have played, and I'm gonna try to continue and figure out. I'll be a dwarf ranger.
You also played a Dark Gnome rogue, if I recall correctly, for a night.
For like a session, yeah.
Briefly, yeah, and he was
Listen.
a klepto.
He popped in and played an NPC in one of our campaigns here.
You're like, you're new. Here's a sneer nibble. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's quite helpful though.
Mhm.
All right. So, Dwarf Ranger.
With the name Barrett.
Barrett.
Okay.
I feel like that's
Maybe
from
a name.
something.
Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I knew that was familiar.
Gun arm.
Oh my god.
I mean, had I gone with the Artificer, that could have been arranged eventually.
Can't blame me.
Yeah.
That was my number 2 idea.
It was an artificer.
Yes, I was gonna base him on Doc Holliday. Be a gambling
That's awesome.
pistolier, basically. What you got, Travis?
Frustration and passwords.
I
I
I don't think that's a class or a race.
will be right back.
Well, I've got a few up in the air, and I had
Thank you. You have a few up in the air.
yes. Stop it. So I was thinking, I've been wanting to play a rogue. Now I always default to rogues and wizards, so I was trying not to play a rogue
Same.
or a wizard.
I specifically told myself I'm not allowed to be a rogue or a halfling.
So I was thinking I was going to play a fighter, but then I was like, ooh, a fighter who becomes a rogue would be awesome. But then I went back to the rogue. So I'm looking at a rogue who is using the thief archetype, because I've never used that one, even though it's classic.
It's fucking awesome in 5e. Well, at least for me. I loved playing a thief.
It looks totally awesome. I mean, everybody plays an assassin or a swashbuckler or something like that. And I'm like, well, the thief looks really cool. So
The thief is super fun.
that's where I'm leaning. So we've got a sorcerer, a bard, and a ranger.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm also used to going with whatever everybody needs. So
That's
Yeah,
kind
whatever
of where
it
I'm
was.
at.
Thing is, we don't really have it right now. We have a ranger, a divine soul sorcerer, and a bard. We have no specialists right now. The ranger is going to be doing damage, but between the sorcerer and the bard, they can kind of cover everything. Except no one can really take a punch right now, I guess.
I can be something that can take a punch if that's what we need.
well, he said dwarves.
Mm-hmm.
Gnomes are for kicking, dwarves are for punching. So
Yeah.
That will probably come up. Unless he does really bad at taking kicks, in which case I'll start calling him Gnome Blood. Everyone will have nicknames. It will be glorious.
We are playing a satyr bard.
I have to point out that my first character concept I passed up quickly was a gnome bard. So
Okay.
his name was Fandel the Illusionist, spelled with an A. His thing was puns. So
Shocking.
puns and illusions,
Okay.
not illusions. Illusions.
I mean, if you're dead set on that, I can move on to a different concept, Travis.
No, you got it. I mean, we knew we were going to do something, so that's why I asked early on what you were doing.
Any idea what race, or did you already say that when I was distracted by my cat?
I did not. So I typically play humans,
Okay.
but I had kind of a weird idea for like a half troll, if that's a thing.
It is.
Yeah, that's totally a thing.
I saw a half troll race on D&D whatever website. I don't know how homebrewy that is, or if that's just DM guild material or what.
Well, Scott uses Goliaths for trolls though, so that might be even
Yeah.
squirrelier in his world.
No, I'll just send it to Becca, and it should be fine. So I will say most of the homebrew is weird. Most homebrew I've seen is actually underpowered compared to a lot of but my Knoll is like, if you compare the Knoll to like the lizard folk from Volos, the lizard folk from Volos is way more powerful than Knoll is.
Yeah, it was just the very first thing. I'm not hooked on mechanics of it at all. I don't care one way or the other. I was just flavor-wise, I thought it'd be something different for me. And it was literally the first hit I came across for half trolls.
Mhm.
So I'm cool with using the Goliath, but I was thinking smaller and more human
Okay.
than a troll.
I'm going to look at it real quick. Institution increases 2.
I can't wait to see how the dwarf feels about being in this band of inhuman misfits.
Yeah, right, I love it.
Oh, okay. The only thing I would say is the regeneration. I would say cost your reaction for that round.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not married to the idea at all.
No, it works like it works in flavor, and it's a whole thing. The only reason that I'm saying that is because if it was just an automatic thing, regeneration gets crazy powerful.
Yeah,
it has to have some cost.
It doesn't scale up or anything, so I thought it was pretty flimsy, honestly. But
Yeah.
reaction's fine too.
Well, it does kind of the amount doesn't scale up, but it's half of your level rounded
Oh, yeah.
up, so you can use it multiple times per day.
Yep.
That's my take. Becca's actually sorry. There's the thing.
Yeah.
There's a thing. He
No,
wears the pants in this family.
I would say, yeah, reaction would work fine for that. That way you're not having to use your bonus or something like that, and it doesn't make it super overpowered with you constantly healing. But it still doesn't take that away from you.
And it because of that, I would also say just because of one other thing, I would add you get a strength bonus of +1 as well.
Yeah, I would.
Because
agree
right now
with
you only get.
Well, it actually has
Whoa.
the sub races.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, a forest
The human
half
gets
troll
it.
would get dex increase, and
Oh, okay.
mountain
Yeah.
gets strength, and
I was going with the human. So the human half troll is 1 to whatever, excluding Constitution.
yeah.
Okay.
Which rogue, so it'd be Dex.
Yeah, then that'd be fine.
Does that sound okay? I mean, like I
Yeah.
said, human, I'm totally fine with also. So
Nope, I'm perfectly fine with half troll.
right.
For your information, being a half troll in our world, most of the troll race that we've discussed are kind of based on Mongolians. So your character would actually be coming in on a ship to,
Okay.
which would be probably part of your backstory, because all of the trolls of our world are actually on the northern continent, and we're on the very far south continent for this campaign.
So, okay. My original thought was that I actually was thinking of coming in on a boat anyways.
All right, cool.
Was that maybe he came from a human city, grew up as kind of an urchin among humans in a human city, and is on the lam from the local thieves guild? like he's a second story man, so he did something he wasn't supposed to, and is on the run. So he thought, "Hey, hide on this ship," and now he's somewhere completely different. But
Okay.
if the trolls come from this continent, that could be backwards. So
Yeah,
whichever
no,
is totally fine.
the trolls come from the other continent, the one that the
Oh,
other group is from. This is the continent, the the third continent that is very little settled, I would say, except by the natives there, which are primarily Yuan-Ti and Tabaxi.
okay.
And Grung. There's a lot of Grung
And
here.
satyrs.
And
Oh.
satyrs.
Well,
Yay!
no, well, yeah.
Well, you came through, the grove to here. There's actually a lot of Fae in that area.
So it looks like we have a skill based class, a kind of skill based class, and a crap ton of damage between the four of us.
That's why I'm torn now.
Ooh.
The
Because
Minotaur.
I low-key was trying to channel my dear Minotaur and think about bringing him back, but now that we have so many heavy hitters, it's looking like that won't be necessary. So I'm wondering if I should be like a cleric or a caster or something
It's
for fun.
always, I would always say in D&D, like especially 5th edition, there are no like set ways of doing things.
Yeah, you don't really need the tank, the healer, the DPS.
Well,
yeah.
one of the things, like, unless you specifically build your character to be what I would call sticky, it's really hard to actually tank in D&D because
They target who they target to a degree.
since they're controlled by the DM. And as for healing, like I used to get in arguments this healing in Dungeons and Dragons, unless they're unconscious, is a waste of an action 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Because the amount, like, great way to phrase this is you have cure wounds and inflict wounds. They're supposed to be paired spells. In 5th edition, cure wounds heals 1d8 plus whatever your appropriate modifier is. Usually at our level it would be +3. So 1d8 plus 3, that averages out to 7.5 HP. So you'll round up, we'll say it averages out to 8 HP. Inflict wounds does 3d10 points of damage.
Yeah.
So damage always scales higher than healing does. So
Yeah, and 5e.
So you don't need a healer, and we have now I'm doing what Chester was doing. Between the ranger, the divine soul sorcerer, and the bard, we actually already have 3 healers.
Yeah, which is why
3
I'm like,
people that can heal. So
Also,
literally,
now I have
you
to
can
take
play
healing
whatever you
magic.
want.
I see how it is.
which is why, yeah, I think other than
Oh, you know what
I
you
just-
could do? You could do a
Huh.
druid. A druid. Focus on shapeshifting for battle, and you still have the healing magic after.
that would be fun. I thought about that too.
So that
I
would
don't
be
know,
probably
I'm
the
torn.
moon path druid. There's like the other paths, like the land druid, like Mist is.
Circle of Spores. Circle of Spores.
Circle of squirrels.
Spores.
Oh, spores.
Nice. Yes, she can be spreading unity. She can be
I like
spreading
squirrels.
unity.
Well,
I
you
am a
should make that
squirrel.
happen.
But
That
like,
would be a shepherd druid.
yeah,
That would
yeah.
be the
vote
circle of the
squirrels.
shepherd.
Yeah, if you want to do Circle of Squirrels, go Shepherd Druid.
So we actually have
No,
a guy
please do
in
squirrels.
at our tabletop game, he had, what was it? He had a pet squirrel, right, Shanna? Christian's character?
The Raven?
No, before that, like he had a.
Yes,
started
it was
off-
before that. It was a squirrel.
He
Mhm.
played a druid who
That
had
got,
a
like,
squirrel
roasted.
living in his beard, and it actually almost fell off a cliff. And one of the other characters took a dive to try and catch it and almost died. It was pretty epic.
Awesome.
Super worth it for a squirrel.
He was gonna raise a squirrel empire, but he died.
As basically we all have. I'm good trying a druid. I've never played druid in 5e before, so that would be fun.
Okay.
Something to try out.
So you'll have to decide like which type of druid you want to be. There is a circle of spores where you can be a fungal druid like Vraska.
You create create fungal zombies.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that a lot.
See, now I'm jealous.
Okay, so Becca actually knows the player handbooks druids better than I do because she really likes druids. I will go over the other ones. So there's Circle of Spores, which we just talked about. Circle of the Shepherd, which is you're better at summoning animals to do your bidding for you.
Right.
They get a lot of those abilities, and they have this whole like spirit totem thing that buffs everybody in the party, including all the animals you summon. Because we're all your flock, basically.
Yeah.
Circle of the Dream, which is tied to the Feywild and fairy creatures. They have a bunch of scrying abilities, and they're really good at healing.
I will say, if you pick that path, your background is probably going to be linked with Chester's character.
That would be fun. You want to be buddies?
I mean, odds are the druid or the ranger probably would have a connection with me anyway. The way it's going to end up working out, because
Honestly, yeah.
yeah.
Circle of Twilight, which I don't actually understand all that well. It's supposed to be kind of like the dark druid, but honestly, Spores does it better.
Blighters were the only dark druids worth mentioning.
And then Becca can explain the player's handbook druid, which there's 2, but Circle of the Land then divides even further into like 8.
All right, so the player's handbook druids, you've got the Moon Circle druid, which is the shape-shifting one. You actually get stronger wild shape abilities. Actually, some really powerful ones later in the game. I don't think you ever actually get to be high enough to be a T-Rex casting spells, but the meme is you get to be like a T-Rex casting spells.
No, you don't ever get
My
to do
dream.
that, but you get to be an elemental, and at level 20, you're effectively immortal.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah. And then the Circle of the Land druids are divided up into basically the different types of land. So you've got coastal, you've got grasslands, you've got forest, you've got underdark, mountain, and each of them have subset spells that they constantly have prepared. And then on short rests, they can recover spell slots, unlike the Moon Druid, who can't. And the Land Druids do eventually get to be completely immune to poison and disease.
In a lot of times, the best way is like Circle of the Moon Druid, because you get better wild shape. You kind of go to the more martial side of things. Like when you're out of spells, you can wild shape.
Yeah.
I'm better at that. Circle of the Land is more a lot of the spells you get are like wizard spells. So you focus more on the spell casting side instead of the wild shape side.
Okay.
That's the
I'm
player's
torn. Yeah, I'm torn with. I like the idea of Circle of Spores or Wild Shape, like the focus.
So I will tell you, mechanically, so flavor-wise, I like Circle of Spores because I like mushrooms. But mechanically, Circle of the Moon
Is the shit.
is the most ridiculously overpowered class in the game.
I'll go with that one.
Okay.
Really easy.
Like
I'm gonna
literally
start with a new
at
class.
level 20, what happens is normally you have a limited amount of wild shapes. So Circle of the Moon, most druids, they use an action to wild shape and a bonus action to drop wild shape. Circle of the Moon, use a bonus action to wild shape and get a free action to drop wild shape. In 5e, every time you wild shape, your health becomes the maximum of that animal you become. At level 20, druids get infinite amount of wild shapes per day.
That's amazing. I'm absolutely playing that. Got it. Decision.
You're supposed to say, "I'll play that for role playing purposes."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have this great character in mind, and
Right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, effectively, they're immortal because, like, the only way a druid dies is if somebody if they wild shape into an earth elemental, which has 150 HP. Somebody has to deal 50 HP in a round, and then a wizard has to waste a 9th level spell to cast Power Word Kill on them, and that's how they die.
That's
It's the only
awesome.
way a Circle of the Moon druid ever dies.
Yeah. Okay.
One of the
Or we
downsides
open
to
a
being
portal to the abyss and just kick them in.
Rude.
Well,
no.
my character's grandpappy is Yanogu, so there's
Yeah.
that.
We'll get into that in a moment. One
Yeah,
of the
but my
downsides
grandpappy's
of
Pan.
druids- Okay, one of the downsides of druids is you can't use metal armor.
Sorry, can't use what?
Metal armor.
That's fine.
Yeah. There is one race that you can actually have some of the more robust armor without getting poisoned, and that is Yuan-Ti. Because they're immune to
Or
poison.
Warforged. There's also Warforged.
You could be a Warforged
Yes, you
druid,
could
which would be
be a-
fucking hilarious.
That would be.
I've done that, and then I said basically all my animal forms look like Transformers.
It
was
is
awesome.
an option.
Could transform into a
Warforged
squirrel.
robots.
So,
Why does that not surprise me?
Because you know me.
but I mean, you can still take studded leather armor without any problem.
You're actually proficient in medium armor, because most medium armor is metal, so it doesn't come up all that much. But like, if you find dragon armor, that's not metal. And generally speaking, most of the time when a DM has a druid in it, they'll find ways of getting you armor that's organic armor,
Yeah.
because it's slightly annoying.
Did you say it's Yuan-Ti,
Yes.
the race?
Snake.
They're
person.
snake people.
Scott, how do you
Are
spell
they?
your character's name?
Yes.
Yeah, Sasava, the character I briefly played while Becco was DMing for you guys,
Yeah.
that was a Yuan-Ti pureblood.
Okay.
I
The
have
one
the book
thing
for
about
it.
that race is is their ability score improvements do nothing for you.
Okay.
But you get to be a snake lady.
Mm-hmm.
That's tempting, just to get to be a snake lady.
Yeah.
Would lizard folk not then fit?
Oh, you could still totally play a lizard folk.
Lizard folk is actually pretty good too, because lizard folk get a natural AC bonus anyway, and you get to steal the bones of your enemies and fashion them into weapons.
See, that just sounds like me as a person existing right now in the real world. So I kind of want to be a lizard lady now. I'm not sure. I need to keep thinking. I'll read some while we're talking about all this.
Stefan, if Hannah chooses a monster race also, you're going to have to do something to prove you belong in a band like this if she goes with lizard folk. I'm just saying. As the
But
only
shit,
normal
like-
race.
So I will say,
Did you
Like
just call me
Dragonborn or
Hannah?
like Tiefling.
He did
No,
just
there's
call
another
you
girl.
Hannah.
You just called me Hannah.
No, there's another girl. Isn't the other girl's name Hannah?
Yeah, Hannah has decided not to join us because her ship's
Yeah.
going to dry dock.
She's not joining us. Fine.
To be fair, you're atrocious with names, so that was a fair assumption to think that you accidentally called me Hannah.
okay.
No, she said in the messenger that Hannah was going to be underway for tonight.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
knew
so-
that.
Okay. I will say from a pure lore perspective from the custom world. So the Knoll is a monstrous race, and no one trusts them, but they are fully mercenaries. Lizard folk we haven't explored at all. That- I
So,
keep on doing the pointing thing, and it's not worth it because I don't know.
so if you pick lizard folk, you're actually going to have a lot of agency with designing your culture. By the way.
Because we haven't really gone into it.
Yeah.
We also haven't gone into satyrs much. I'm guessing. I don't know what Becca's going to do with that, but I'm guessing Feywild on that.
I figured I'd be hitting her up for cool stuff like that. That means I'm probably subject to banishment then too, huh?
Yes, you are.
Oh well.
Well, no, well, because Terry's character kind of came in the same thing. His home, his home. They're not outsiders, so like their home is like literally what they consider to be their home.
Okay.
Mainly to prevent weird interactions with things like banishment.
So it's going to be a
I'm
question.
separated from the party again.
Yeah, it'll come up. If it comes up, I'll ask you where your character considers home.
Home is where the rump rests. I mean, damn it.
What about one of the bird people? I don't know how to pronounce
Krakoa?
that.
The Acrocoa or something like that?
Aarakocra or a Kenku?
Ooh,
Aarakocra?
Kenku are cooler.
What's the
Kenku
difference?
don't have a splice. Aarakocra are like eagle people and have a fly speed. Kenku are cursed crow people that don't and are kleptomaniacs.
I
And they
want
can only
flight,
say things they've
Chester.
heard before. You're a druid.
I
You're
want-
in half flight. All you gotta do is
Yeah,
change shit.
but I get flight earlier.
Okay, so here's so Aarakocra are actually the weakest class in D&D. A lot of people misunderstand this. They are the only race to be banned in Adventures League. They are not banned because they are overpowered, which most people thought came about flight speed. Flight speed is a horrible idea for anybody below 5th edition or 5th level because there's a lot of things that knock you prone, and that means you take 1d6 points of damage for every 10 feet you fall. It will kill you quick. Kenku, on the other hand, we again haven't explored them much in the world, mainly because we use were-ravens. But Kenku the biggest thing with Kenku is they're small creatures. They are usually kleptomaniacs, but one thing you have to understand about Kenku is they can't talk normally. They can only mimic sounds they've heard. That means they understand all language, and they can mimic all language, but they have to have heard it first.
They're bumblebees.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I'm thinking I should just be something more straightforward, like a half-elf. I don't know.
Well, you loved doing halflings, didn't you?
Yeah, but it's exactly why I'm trying to avoid it, because I'm always a halfling. That's my fallback. But
And a rogue.
So if you wanted to be a interesting race that has been explored, and not Indian, but I'll give you the link for it. You could be a Viren,
I don't know a Viren.
Rat person.
rat folk.
That could be fun too.
Like a kobold.
I'm not against building the culture like for the lizard folk or anything. I'm super fine with doing that. That would be really fun, actually.
They're a great race, and they actually work well with Druid, and they're powerful and interesting. We haven't really explored them much.
That's fine. If I get some parameters, then I'll just do that. I'll be a lizard folk, and yeah, I'll build the culture up by
beyond
whenever.
the continent, and you'd probably be, at least from what I can tell, like my gamer brain going mechanically, probably the smarter one of all of us. Although the rogue's probably pretty intelligent.
Hey Scott, isn't there a winged version of the Aasimar now?
There is not a winged version of the Aasimar. There's a winged tiefling. The Aasimar does not. And now the Aasimars have some weird abilities that like grow spectral wings, but they can't fly with them.
Okay, I thought there was one of those new variants of
Now,
them.
there's the only 2 player races that currently have a fly speed. Well, 3. There's a 3rd race. So there is Aarakocra, who literally sacrifice all their abilities for a fly speed, and that's usually not a great idea. Winged Tiefling, who also sacrifice most of their abilities for a fly speed. And then finally, there's Simic Hybrid. Simic Hybrid don't have a fly speed. They have a glide speed.
Potential. You actually have to pick.
They can jump off really tall buildings and they're sugar gliders. So they kind of float down. They're like flying squirrels. Becca's character Mist right now is a Simic Hybrid. It's just been reskinned.
Yeah. She's not actually a Simic hybrid.
The fallen Aasimar has 2 skeletal, ghostly, flightless wings.
Yeah.
Lame. I knew there was a winged Aasimar. Just
Yeah. It's
aesthetic.
Yeah, it's an aesthetic thing. It really is, like, in general, and this has always been a thing, is that Wizards tends to hate flight speeds because of because they're really dangerous when players don't know what they're doing, and also they have a tendency to make certain things in dungeons stupid. Like pit traps become like, okay, I fly. But now most people don't use pit traps anymore, so it's not really an issue. So yeah, it's I could wax like there's a long history of why fly speed is a problem, but it's like I don't mind it, and I don't think Becca minds it. It's just something that you have. But as a druid, I would say Shayna, like going for a flight speed again mechanically, not the best idea because especially at Circle of Moon, you can pretty much turn into whatever the hell you want at 8th level, and like you can turn into a giant eagle if you want to fly.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I just liked the idea, but I'm really digging the idea of being lizard folk now, so I'm good with that.
All right.
Yay!
I would ask, and Becca should probably work with Shayna on this, is where we're basing our lizard folk off of, because it's kind of nebulous in Volos. So, like, what kind of lizard would you like it to be based off? Obviously not snake, because, well, a snake isn't a lizard, it's a reptile, but that has its own analog. A lizard is a very wide range to try to narrow things down.
Do I pick?
Yeah, you pick.
I mean, I love the classic Komodo, but I don't know. Let me research lizards for a second. I don't know much. Hold up.
Say gecko.
I love geckos, but I grew up with infestations of them, and they're kind of weak and sad. They just shed their tail and run away.
But
I
for your
just
background, you
mimicked-
have to be an insurance.
Becca is the only one that understands this, but I just
no.
imagined a Bob in part of our
Oh yeah.
game.
I will say, if you pick Gecko, your
We can't hear you,
character is
Becca. The microphone's not working.
Thank you. Thank you.
Should be a
It-
chameleon with like crazy ass.
I will say, if you pick Gecko, your character is going to have a weird ability that if you lick someone's eyes enough times, they will go blind. And only Scott really understands that reference.
I kind of don't need to understand it. I just like that.
She just is gonna like lick every piece of like magic equipment we find. She's gonna lick it and be like, "This is mine now." But then the Null's gonna
It's
come
how I
along and
mark
lick
my
it back.
territory.
But then the
What?
Null's just gonna lick it back and be like, "No, it's mine now." And this is gonna
No,
be this
it's
huge
mine.
contest of licking.
The chameleon thing also amuses me because of omnidirectional eyes, which has no effect in D&D because not line of sight like that isn't like calculated, but like it
Just
it was
aesthetically.
like just
a
aesthetically,
person-
like what are you looking at? Like why are you like?
It's like, you're not looking at that bird over there and also that rock on the ground? Those
Yeah.
don't both interest you right now at the same time? What?
I'd totally be playing with her blind spot all the time.
What is that? What is that?
Scott, did you see that message?
What was it?
Well, there's a couple of them. There's about your Knoll's name and a whisper.
Okay.
Oh, a whisper.
I'm legit just Googling weird lizards. That's just what I'm doing now.
Yeah, I'll get you some in just a second. And yes,
Oh, sorry.
so I need to explain the licking of the eyeballs.
Yes.
We had a friend by the name of Hannah Austin, not the Hannah that was going to join us, a different Hannah. But her mom used to tell her these ridiculous stories to get them to behave when she was a kid because she was an English teacher. Her little brother was terrified of, before you have the current Geico insurance, like cartoon gecko, you actually had a gecko that used to like lick its own eyeball as part of the commercials. This was back in the 90s. I don't know if anybody remembers this commercial.
I do.
Her little brother was terrified of this stupid gecko, but he kept on like leaving his room in the middle of the night to go play or something. So like half of them have blue eyes and half of them have brown eyes. But so the mom sat this little kid down who had brown eyes and was like, you need to stop leaving your room in the middle of the night. And she knew that this kid was terrified of this gecko. So she's like, she pointed out to the ones with the blue eyes. Do you know why they have blue eyes? And she's like, I don't know. I'm like, because they would leave the room in the middle of the night, and geckos would come and lick their eyeballs, and it turned them blue. And if they did it enough times, they'd eventually turn blind. Now the kid
Jesus.
did not
Oh my
actually
god!
her the first night, but she had actually knew the kid was like a little hesitant, and had
His
gotten all these
siblings.
like little plastic gecko toys and
His siblings
raised
did it.
them. Yeah, in front of the door. So that is the story of the flying gecko.
So his sisters lined up all of these fake lizards in front of his door, so fake geckos in front of his door that looked realistic. So when he opened the door in the middle of the night, Hannah, Austin, and her sister hear him scream like bloody murder because of these lizards. And he goes
Oh
and
my god!
like hides under his covers. Totally convinced the geckos are after his eyeballs.
Effective.
Yeah.
Sad.
According to Austin, the reason their mom was so concerned is because he was getting into the kitchen in the middle of the night and like turning things on, like the stove, which was a gas stove, but he wasn't lighting it correctly.
Yeah, yeah.
And things like that. So there was a reason she was actually genuinely concerned about him getting up in the middle of the night. But yeah, he's terrified of geckos.
That's hilarious. Yes.
So yeah, if you pick Gecko, your character will have this weird ability, which probably won't ever come up.
Ever.
Ever. But
I'll have it.
yeah.
Once per day can inflict blindness, deafness as a spell via your tongue.
Oh my
It heightens other senses.
god. Daredevil style.
Should get plated lizards.
Are you looking at lizards too? You
Oh,
are.
yeah.
Thanks. I'm torn. I'm still stuck either like one of the spiny-tailed lizards because I really like the idea of getting spines. Again, it doesn't have to have a function, just aesthetically. Or Komodo dragon because I know that they can eat basically anything. It's like that would be nice to not have to have food cooked. I can just take a bite out of whatever we just killed and eat it, and then I'm not hungry.
You would
Okay,
also
full.
have a
Yeah.
bacteria-filled mouth, so if you bite someone, they would kind of limp away, and then sepsis would take into effect and potentially still kill the person, even though you were still
Yeah, like a Constitution save or something. That would be fun.
You keep using that word, and you don't think it means what you think it means.
No, it does. It definitely, definitely does.
So what else we need to do, Becca? Do you want us to know anything in advance for background purposes or setup purposes, or?
Well, we do need to go a bit over the setup of like how you guys know each other, because I'm not going to do probably not a meet cute type thing, because that's going to be probably 3 or 4 sessions long if we try to do that.
Okay, so I will say, so Narga, he's a mercenary. He will literally do anything for money. So
Anything.
he is true neutral. So he will he's not.
No scruples.
Well, he has some, but like he is the descendant of a demon lord. He's probably those scruples he's probably not going to cross. And a hyena person, so he does eat people.
I'm going to need to hear the hyena laugh in advance just to know what I'm getting into.
I need to actually spend some time working on my hyena laugh. Like when Matt Mercer did it, I was like, I didn't think that was humanly possible for somebody to actually mimic a hyena laugh.
Nice.
He is also 18, which makes him like old age for a gnoll, so he's kind of surly. Gnolls leave to reach maturity at age 4 and live to a maximum of 30.
Whereas satyrs live to a healthy 500.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Set dice,
Hence,
not
hence
average.
your
but-
satire.
Average or set.
Yeah.
Whatever term you want
Because
to
technically,
use.
the average is always going to be a decimal, so you round up.
Right. Yeah, level 1 is maxed though, so if you have to roll a d8 normally, it's actually 8 plus your constitution modifier at level 1.
You've cut out again, Becca.
No, you really
Face is
did.
frozen in a smiling.
Well, at least it wasn't the tongue sticking out. Am I still cutting out?
We got
Okay.
you now.
I got you.
Alright. Yeah, level 1 HP is maxed, so if you roll a d8, you would have 8 plus your constitution modifier for your level 1 HP. But you're starting at level 3.
Didn't want to assume.
Yep, nope, thanks for asking. And like I typed in, if you roll a 1 on a dice, if you choose to roll instead of taking the set, re-roll that 1.
Rogues are D6
What?
or D8 in 5e.
D8. The only things that are D6s in 5e are wizards and sorcerers.
Ha, stupid wizards.
It's better than 3rd edition when they had a D4.
Alright.
I got a 2.
Still better than a 1.
And I got a 6.
Okay. Alright. Let's see. So, for getting the party together, Shayna, your lizard folk would probably know Llewellyn in Sherwood, the archdruid that is actually there on the continent. And probably would have heard of a grove of trees just past the mountains, southeast of Sherwood, over the mountains, that you had heard of Fae being predominant in the area for some reason. Which would give you
All right.
cause to have run into the Satterbard.
Got it. Sup, buddy?
Yeah.
Fader.
Both the
Oh,
Yeah, if you give us nicknames, it's gonna be Satyr or Satire Bard. We just let Travis.
Satire
Yeah, but-
Bard for sure. That's
But
my
mine-
vote.
My nicknames my nicknames could inflict psychic damage back. I'm just throwing that out there.
By the way, have you decided what subclass you are yet?
No. Looking at this.
We could use some control. That would actually lore or glamour are both.
Yeah, it
control,
works
so.
for both of those. It really does. Like, I like both of them is the problem.
Come on, you know you want to be a rock star. That's why you like. That's.
I do, and but it actually says in there that it's like mimicking the abilities of a satyr. I was like, really? I'm already a satyr. Does that mean I need to take this just to be who I am? Yeah, fuck it. I'll go with the. I really like all the skill proficiencies that come with being a lore
Be
bard.
lore. Lore is actually the most powerful bard. Still,
I just like proficiency in like so many skills is awesome.
proficiency
I'm literally
and
good at-
extra expertise. And-
I'm literally just good at everything I touch.
well, you already have that with Jack of all trades, but
Yeah, that's true.
you actually have you're one of the few people that actually got a bonus to their initiative because of their class.
Yeah.
Don't
I thought
forget
was
that,
pretty awesome.
by the way,
No.
that the Jack of all trades actually adds to your initiative.
Oh,
check.
I was reading about that today actually because they were going over what all it did apply to,
And your counterspell checks. Now, granted, counterspell isn't naturally on the bard list, but
right. But if you go lore, you can get it as early as 6th level. If you go anything else, it's 10th level is the earliest you can get it.
and then once you get glibness, it doesn't matter anyways because
I'll do what I want.
well, no, glibness is for 8 hours. Any charisma check, which your spellcasting modifier is charisma, if you roll less than a 15, you treat it as though you rolled a 15. So, which means that I could counterspell a 9th level spell with 3rd level spell all day, every day.
All day or day. Yeah.
Glibness is actually one of the most broken spells. It and Force Cage.
Yeah.
Or as my character will eventually have, Scorching Ray with Hex applied.
That'll be pretty bad.
Okay. So, Scott, you probably could have run into Shayna's character on her journey. And maybe you get to reach an agreement regarding your assisting her as a mercenary doing your thing. But you two would need to discuss that.
Like my fee is not high. I will, as long as you give me food, and you know the as long as you give me food and you prove that you are not weak, I'll follow you.
Toss him a bone every here and there.
Yeah, that's not a
Literally.
problem.
Literally, toss the bone and say
Yeah.
fetch.
Yeah, fair.
But and I don't know how we're gonna play lizard folk, but as a lizard folk and gnolls, like I was actually considering reskinning lizard folk to gnoll for various reasons. Like they are very similar in their mercenary kind of outlook.
Yeah.
Towards
That's why I figured we'd get along. It's fine.
I eat the meat. You take the bones.
I ate the bones. Yeah, we're fine. We're
Yeah.
fine. We share meals. That's fine.
Mhm.
It's a
We're
beautiful...
about the same height. Oh, are you small, lizard folk?
I don't actually know. I haven't looked. I'm trying to find it. There
Very
it is.
small.
Standard
It's-
Volo's lizard folk.
5'9".
Oh, I thought it was taller than that.
I might be looking at the wrong thing. The
No,
one
no,
I just
no.
found.
That might be right. I for some reason I thought it was based upon a crocodile.
I don't know.
Like
The
dwarf
one I
size.
found just says 4'9" or 2d10 inches tall.
Okay.
2d10 inches tall.
That's what it says, which doesn't seem. I mean, that's
probably
the
supposed to be
bonus, but
plus.
yeah, I
4'9"
think that's a
plus-
typo.
Yeah.
Probably.
Let me look.
I should
I'll
ask you
figure it out.
guys, do you want to roleplay meeting Chester's character? Because we could do that at the beginning of next week's session, just the same as we're gonna... or you could discuss how that initial interaction goes as you investigate the grove and find this satyr there.
I'm fine with that already knowing, like skipping that kind of stuff because honestly,
Yeah.
it's kind of.
Yeah, we can discuss it. I'm good with that.
Yep,
Okay.
I'm good with discussion.
Alright, awesome. I think Travis is still having a little bit of problems, but both Stefan and Travis, your characters probably would be coming in on the same ship. And then...
Sorry, you cut out there for a second.
curses!
I
Well, I
know.
would like to point out that I probably came on a ship too because honestly, I'd probably be from the waste.
Alright, well then you, Stefan and Travis, came in on the same ship,
Mm-hmm.
heading off into the wilderness for adventure and hopefully resource stuff and getting away from any area that might have a Thieves Guild presence because Cherwood does have a Thieves Guild presence. It's just not all that noticeable.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey.
So you would have traveled together actually for several months, stuck on the same ship before arriving in Cherwood, and then making your way across the mountains together to meet this lizard folk druid who is investigating a grove.
Okay, so just to stop, standard lizard folk in 5e are a little bulkier and taller than humans. So
Okay.
that would put so if you're male, that would put you at because again, this is fantasy tropes. So males in 5e, human males are considered between 5'9" and 6 foot. Women are between 5'4" and 5'9". So that would put a female between 6 and 6'3", and a male between like 6'6" and 7 feet tall.
Okay.
And then, but also being bulkier, and you have scales, you're going to be actually way heavier than that, than a standard person.
I'm fine with that.
But Narga is definitely 7'3", although you can't really tell because he kind of hunches a lot.
Okay. So we know Narga is probably just doing his mercenary thing. We know
And would be looking for jobs, like he'd be actively looking for.
Shayna had probably her character had specifically been tasked by Llewellyn, hey, check out this grove.
You cut out.
Mhm.
I just heard that I had specifically been tasked.
By Llewellyn to check out the grove that suddenly a whole bunch of Fae had been showing up at.
Okay.
And we know Travis's character is getting away from the Thieves Guild.
You cut out again.
Yeah, we're totally using Roll20's video chat next week.
Okay.
Okay.
It might actually just be because of XSplit and my processor, but
Hopefully, I will have my argument with Microsoft will be resolved. So
okay. And then Stefan, there are 2 clans of dwarf that have come to Cherwood, and they are actively seeking various resources from the continent. So it would be really easy to say your character is interested in finding those resources. If you
Any like resources in particular, or
let's see, coffee.
Gold. Oh, sorry.
Yep, nope.
Schmog?
oh, we should probably mention something about about the main matriarchy in our world.
Oh yeah, please go ahead.
So one of the things you have to understand is because of the nature of the dwarves, the ruling gender in dwarves are actually women.
Okay.
That matches his house. It's fine. Oh.
Yeah, I'll be right at home.
The only reason I mention it is so the reason being is that generally the miners are men, and because of that, and mine collapses are very common. The women tend to hold the property rights while the men don't, and it also comes from their religion. They worship the mother of spiders, who of course is a female deity. So
Gotcha.
She's not evil though. She's one of the fates. She
is the forger of the fates. In our world, so instead of it being, the traditional Greek mythology of the fates is like weavers, 3 weavers. In our mythology, it's 3 forgers. There's the forger, who's the mother of spiders. The quencher, not quencher. Quencher is actually the annealer, who is the Lord of Serpents, and then finally the Shatterer, who is the mother, who is the Raven Queen. So generally most humans, or if they worship the fates at all, will worship the Lord of Serpents, but the dwarves worship the Mother of Spiders because she is the creative force, while the Lord of Serpents is the protective force, and then the destructive force, and the one who reclaims everything is the Raven Queen.
Okay. So the mother of spiders kind of creates that web of every.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And it's generally every artist in the world, regardless of their race, worships the Mother of Spiders. She is the product of all creative influence.
Gotcha. So like bards and everything, so that satyr would be tying in with mother of spiders as well, or generally not.
It kind of depends. So a satyr is a little weird because a satyr is also tied to fertility, which is more of a Lord of Serpents thing.
Bunch of hedonistic bastards.
The one that
Says the satyr.
literally only humans worship. There is only of all the race. So everyone kind of acknowledges the mother of spiders and serpents in their own various ways. The Raven Queen is exclusive to human worship, and the only reason that is because at some point the Raven Queen was a human.
Gotcha.
Like she is the only known mortal to ever elevate herself to apotheosis to become a deity. And that is actually something that we're dealing with in Paladins Pajamas right now.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to go again.
Sir, is there a reason I would be looking for these resources?
This continent has, in recent years, within the last 20 or so, been found to be a wealth of resources, and so it is an opportunity for the various clans.
I cut out again.
It's an opportunity for the various people to start their own business, their own mine, to do trade, things like that. So it's basically it's an opportunity. Like there's wealth of opportunity that everyone is seeing, including the merchant princes.
Perfect.
Clicky.
Yep.
Clicky.
Sorry.
Clicky.
I am.
What are you looking for?
Well, me trying to enable the video audio on Roll20 is not currently working.
I'll handle it. I still have. I still have GM privileges. Give me a second.
Sorry about the clicking.
It's
all
fine.
right.
As soon as he does this, though, we're all going to have to leave the call and...
No, it'll automatically do it. Now, we'll all have to leave Discord because it'll be a very weird sound coming from everybody.
That's what I was
Okay.
going to say, was we're all going to have to leave Discord.
Okay, I'm leaving the call. Should be able to. It'll.
I'm not seeing everyone yet.
No, you won't because everybody's camera is being taken over by Discord right now.
Nope, no one can hear you.
Can everyone see me and hear me?
Yes.
I couldn't hear you. You're gonna have to reload. Everybody needs to.
So going under settings and then reconnect. Can you hear me all right
Just
now?
hit the reload button on the top of your screen. After you exit Discord, just hit the reload button. You're gonna be fine.
You can hear me fine?
Ah. Yay, there we go.
Alright.
Oh, I just turned my headphone way up because I was concerned
Sorry.
that was the problem. No, it's not your fault. It's me being stupid.
Oh, fine.
Can anyone see my video?
Nope. No one can see your video or hear you.
One.
Hey, Chester.
Sorry, I had to relaunch into Chrome because I don't